What's up, y'all? Happy Saturday night. I told y'all I'd be back. I know I say that a lot and then it don't happen, but I'm here this time. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Miami. Uh Thursday night's episode. They really threw me off by changing the show to Thursday night. But anyway, it is what it is. We're here now. So listen. The ladies are all back from Spain, and now they are all trying to figure out what happens next. I mean, it sounds like nobody's really talking to anybody. Larsa is talking to Alexia about Lisa, and Gertie is talking to Stephanie. Stephanie says she ain't talked to anybody, but they're getting ready to go on this cruise. It looks like it's the Virgin Voyage of the newest, I guess, Virgin cruise ship. I think it might be the one I'm going on. I think they said it's the Maiden something. So I don't remember whatever the name of the ship is. It sounds familiar. I wonder if it's the ship that I'm getting ready to go on in May. I don't know. But either way, it's a Virgin cruise that they're going on. So, and I feel like we have 3 good episodes left, right? We have this week, the episode that just happened, next week, and then next week might be the finale, but if next week's not the finale, certainly the week after that is definitely the finale. But next week might be the finale, only because I just don't know what there's left to say. I just don't know what else we have to say to each other. So we see Julia meeting with Marisol. Look. Basically, the only conversation was they were talking about Stephanie and the jet and Marisol and the argument. And Julia let us know that her daughters seem to be, well, at least one of them might be warming up a little bit. The youngest one, still not so much, but the older one may be warming up just a little bit. Again, it's whatever. I love a good vacation, but they packed in so many locations in 1 week period. I'd be exhausted. Yeah. This season, because remember when the trailer dropped and it looked like they were going so many places, and we were like, normally these shows don't go this many places, but now I see how it played out, and I understand. So they had the yacht weekend earlier, so that looked like they went somewhere when they were on the boat, when they probably just were riding around Miami Harbor for 24 hours. And then, of course, this trip where they went to 2 different locations, and then now the cruise. So I can see why it seemed like they're going so many places. Right, exactly. Nikachu. Again, it just seemed like it's so much. So anyway, so then we see Kiki with her dad. Once again, I just feel like they're trying to close up this storyline with her dad, because we ain't seen her dad since that first episode. We know that her dad actually did go back to Haiti, she said, to talk to the family, to try to get them to understand that, basically Kiki ain't got which I think she has. Like, she makes a good life for herself and her family, but she can't afford to bring all of Haiti over, okay? We need y'all to chill out. But something was weird, and maybe I was missing something because I wasn't looking at the screen for the whole conversation. So I might have missed part of what the conversation was because they were speaking in French Creole. But was her dad saying it wasn't his fault about what happened between her and the stepmom because he's saying he didn't know? Like, did the stepmother lie on him? Or is he saying it's his fault because he just don't want to take responsibility for his part in what happened? Because that's where I was, because he just kept saying, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. And of course, Kiki was doing all this talking. And then he was like, yeah, but look at how many cameras you have on you now. Basically, look at how successful you are now. Look at how great of a life you have now. Like, maybe if I hadn't put you out the house, like, I don't know. It was weird, but Kiki was basically saying that, in Haitian culture, the parents never take responsibility when they do wrong, and the kids aren't allowed to basically call them out on it. And Kiki was telling her dad, listen, I love you. I have forgiven you, but it took me a long time to get to that point, but this goes back to what I said earlier in the season when we first saw Kiki with her mom and then we saw her with her dad. And I was like, yeah, production told Kiki, you need to step it up. If you want to keep your job, you need to step it up, because it just seems so random that we went from seeing nothing about Kiki's personal life to getting everything. We got her children, we got her mom, we got her dad. Like, we got all of that at one time. And Kiki, this is your fourth season on the show, and we haven't seen this much about. So I honestly feel like this was production making her have this conversation. And I know for me, listen, I can't tell anybody else their relationship with their family. Far be it for me to tell Kiki what she should or should not accept from her dad. Because at this point, like she said, she's forgiving him. It took her a long time to get to that point. But all I can say is, Kiki, you a better one than me, because he was giving you nothing. Like, I just don't feel like you got anything from that. Like, he was giving you nothing. But I think you just wanted a relationship with your dad, and it's okay. Like, you were willing to accept. You're willing to accept whatever he's giving you because you want a relationship with him. And I'm not saying you're wrong for that. I'm just saying, good for you. You said, I kept checking for the food in the scene. Kiki kept hyping up the salmon tartare. I was on the lookout. Well, they did end up eating it at the end, and he said he liked it. I think she was saying, I just want you to try something different. Like, you don't want to expand your palate. You don't want to eat anything other than Haitian food. Like, I want you to try something different, something new. I don't know. It was just it was an awkward scene to me, because I feel like Kiki did all the talking, and every time her dad did talk, I feel like all he said wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. And I don't know. I don't know if that was just chopped up editing or he just was not trying to accept. Then we have this really awkward scene between Lisa and Jodie, where Lisa's basically talking about how, right, look at the cameras, you're good now. Right, like, listen, I know I put you out the house and I left you on the streets by yourself to figure it out, but look, you figured it out. Like, anyway. But it was this really awkward scene with Lisa and Jodie, where Lisa is like, oh my gosh, it felt so weird to not be a Mrs. anymore. And I can't wait to be a Mrs. I want to be a Mrs. again. And Jodie was like, yeah. Yeah. And then I guess Lisa got embarrassed, because then she said, well, I don't want to marry anybody if they're not ready to marry me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm in any rush or anything to get married again. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it just feels so weird to not be a Mrs. anymore. And what did you feel like when you saw the paperwork? And Jodie was like, I mean, I was happy for you. It was so weird. And then Jodie went on to talk about how basically when he first got with Lisa, the biggest problem that they had was basically Lenny. And he's saying, but now they have all of these issues with the friend group, with the show. Listen, I've heard Carlos King, that is, say that reality TV doesn't break up relationships. Reality TV just puts a focus on what's already there. I disagree. I think reality TV absolutely can break up a marriage, can absolutely break up friendships, can absolutely break up relationships, because production always wants drama. And some people are so desperate to be on television, are so desperate for the paycheck, are so desperate for the attention, that they are willing to sacrifice these relationships for the show. To me, I think that there are some situations where there's some, not all, but there are some situations where people's marriages, family relationships, friendships would be intact if it were not for reality TV. Listen, the feds said themselves that the only reason why they were looking at Teresa and Joe Giudice is because of the show. Because Teresa was on that show paying for everything in cash. And they were like, wait a minute, what's this about? Because that makes people nervous, especially the IRS. When they see you paying for everything in cash, it makes them side-eye it. It makes them look at you a little bit like, why you not writing a check? Why you not using a credit card? Why aren't you using a debit card? Like, that is a quick way. Like, it's not 1940. Why are you carrying around tens of thousands of dollars in cash? Like, that doesn't, ma'am, that makes you look guilty. And I mean, that's just one example, but I'm sure that if we really go through the history of reality television, we could think of some relationships that might not have broken up if it were not for the cameras. And that's just my opinion. Jodie, Lisa scenes are very Disney. They come off scripted, robotic. I'm kind of liking Lisa this season, but those solo scenes are very awkward. The silences go on for what feels like hours. Well, I thought it was interesting when Jodie tried to get real and was like, yeah, we have had some arguments and the arguments get really bad. He said, I mean, before we get married, we're definitely going to have some therapy because sometimes the arguments are so bad we don't sleep in the same room. Did you see Lisa's reaction when he said that? She was mortified. She was like, no, oh my God. And then she was like, no more. Like, girl, he just telling the truth. Y'all get into serious arguments between Lenny and this show. Y'all get into some serious ass arguments. Lisa is dense and has no intellectual depth. It's hard to have a conversation that's not about fashion, lifestyle, etc. Child, that's why I mean, where did you meet him? Like, did you meet him on millionaire.com? Like, what they call that? What's that website where women can go on and like all the guys on the website have to be certified millionaires, but the women can just be whatever. I forget the name of it. A friend of mine was on that website too. I can't think of the name of it. But it's something, but basically it's a dating website, but all of the men on there they have to be certified. Like, they have to be vetted and certified that they actually do have the money that they say they have. Like, I feel like they met on something like that. Cause where did Jodie come from? One of my uncle's ladies was a scammer. She said a secured credit card will save you cash all the time, but we're not getting caught up. Right. Yeah, I actually like the Jodie tried to get real, but it seemed right. Jodie was being honest. Now, I will say this though. Is it Ashley Madison? It's something like that. I can't think of the name of it, but it's something like that. That might be it. But now, Larsa, let me say this. See, this is stuff that I don't like. See, this is why I don't even like taking up for people and then come back later and find out I should have never took up for that person. Larsa, I was out here defending you. Larsa. I was out here. I had your back. I was like, I don't care. Jodie don't have no reason to be texting you. And now come to find out, that's what it's called, Raya. It's probably more than one. Now come to find out that not only did you start texting Jodie first, allegedly, because, but you and Jodie had come to a truce that you would not like bring him up anymore. And then you did it again. And that's why he was texting you, was to be like, girl, what's up? I thought we talked about this. I thought we agreed that you wouldn't make me part of your storyline again. And here I am, part of your storyline again. So now I got to go back on what I said and be like, if what Jodie and Lisa are saying is true, Larsa, girl, you started this. Why are you texting that man? You don't want Lisa following Marcus, but you think it's okay to text Jodie? Ma'am, let me tell you something. Unless you and my man are like planning a party for me or something, or like it's something like that going on where the two of y'all need to be in communication, there is absolutely no reason for you to be texting my man about nothing. And I have had that happen to me before, where I've had a friend of mine where the guy is planning a party for my friend or something like that, and they need my help. And I have been, we done went through the party, baby shower, whatever, birthday party, whatever. And I promise you, as soon as that event is over, baby, I delete that number out my phone. I don't even want I don't even want your number in my phone because I don't have no reason to talk to you. And I don't want anybody to feel like, are you talking? No, I'm not. I ain't talked to him since the day of your party. Now, I do have something. Now, I'm telling a lie. I am telling a lie. I do have the number, like my friend, my really good friend, that one that lives in Philly. I do have her husband's number, but that's how I got it. I didn't delete it though. So like I just lied. I didn't delete it. But when I tell you, you could go through my text string with him, and all you see is happy birthday, or I'm on my way. I'm gonna come. I'm come up there and see y'all this weekend. I'm gonna surprise. Don't tell her I'm coming. Like, it'll be shit like that. Like, I promise you. But I've known them since they started dating. Like, I've known them since the day they met. But again, ain't no, I ain't never texted him about nothing, dealing with nothing outside of birthday parties. If we go, like, we've traveled together. So, you text people when you out traveling together about different stuff. But for real, we in a group chat. I don't talk to that man like that. At all. At all. My sister's husband, I have his number. He has my number, but 99.9999999% of the time I call him, I text him, is in the group chat. It'd be all of us right there together. Again, if I'm texting him outside of my sister, it's dealing with something with my sister. What she want for Christmas? Has she said anything about what she want for her birthday? Child, let me tell y'all something. So, Larsa, if you started texting Jodie, and we're gonna find out at the reunion, because if it's a lie, Larsa gonna call it out. But if you started texting Jodie, then you don't have nothing to say to Lisa about Marcus, and you damn sure can't be mad that Jodie is reaching out now because he want to know why you got his name in your mouth if y'all had a conversation that says y'all weren't gonna do that anymore. Anyway, child. Ashley Madison was the one that had the leak. Oh, that got the people in trouble. Ashley Madison was the one that got them people in those Mormons. What was it? Not the Mormons. Were they Mormons? The one that had all them kids. Yeah, that's the one that got them in trouble. There you go, 19 and counting. Yep. That was them. I knew from jump Larsa initiated contact, and only showed the ladies Jodie response. She's the type to do it. If I'm texting my friends, man, it's in a group chat with the fam or homegirls. I need help explaining ish to me anyway sometimes. How many times have I added my friends' partners' numbers and it be there but so unused? Right. Yeah, 19 account. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I had to think about it. I was like, no, I actually do have some numbers in my phone, but I don't play them games. I don't play them games. Because I don't even want anybody to feel like, you know what I mean? Like it's an issue. No, ma'am, Pam. But neither here nor there. I just hate when I feel like now I just sat here and defended Larsa, and come to find out, girl, you was wrong. If what everybody said is true, girl, you were wrong. Now, I want to ask y'all a question. We about to get into Marisol's cruise. I want to ask y'all a question. Do y'all think that Marisol really has money? Or do y'all think that Marisol just is the type of person that does? Okay. Do y'all think that Marisol has money? Or do you think that Marisol, is comfortable, but not necessarily very wealthy? And don't Google her net worth. And I'm asking for a reason. I'm asking for a very reason. For a reason. But we have this scene between Stephanie and Anastasia of Beverly Hills. I know Anastasia of Beverly Hills very well because she is one of the sponsors of RuPaul. I love the RuPaul Drag Race, and she's one of the sponsors. They always get to win like a year's supply of Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I know Ebby likes her products. So there was a scene which I felt was a very forced scene, probably a throwaway scene. I don't even know why they included that scene. because it just was unnecessary. It looks like they're planning a Christmas party, and she wants to have some of her products in the gift bag for the ladies. And then she went on to talk about how much of a boss bitch she is and how these girls just don't understand her because she's such a boss bitch. First of all, Stephanie, you keep telling on yourself, the more and more you talk, the more and more you talk, the more and more I know the truth about what happened between you and your sisters. Now you said, well, my sister said that I just don't know how to talk to people and I just don't know how to use my words, and I'm my words are very harsh. See, the more you talk, the more we understand what really went down with your sisters, who I still want to interview, by the way. But anyway, but that scene just seemed very forced and unnecessary. I guess maybe that's gonna be the final episode, is this Christmas party, because why are we talking about a Christmas party if we're not gonna see the Christmas party? But anyway, the reason why I asked the question about Marisol is this. Yeah, the Anastasia scene was boring, but again, if they are going to show us, hey, football cat, if they are going to show us this Christmas party, which I'm hoping is the finale, like the final, the final group event, maybe that's why they showed it. I don't know. The reason why I asked about Marisol is this. You know how they say that there are people who, the richest ones in the room, usually the ones that don't flaunt it as much. And I just think about the totality of Marisol. Now, remember, I didn't look at the first Real Housewives of Miami. I looked at like the first couple of episodes, and I never really watched the show. So I don't really know all of the ins and outs of the Marisol, of her past and stuff. Now, I believe her husband has money. I believe her husband is, and when I say has money, I ain't saying he a billionaire, but I believe he's comfortable. But the reason why I asked that is because Marisol is very understated with everything. She's very understated with her clothing. She's very understated with just how she carries herself. We never see her drive. So I don't even know what kind of car Marisol has. Like, she's always, and maybe Marisol doesn't drive, because as much as her ass drink, she may not drive. Maybe she does just Uber or have a driver, or her husband drives. You know what I mean? But we've never really seen Marisol drive. So we don't know what kind of car she drives. We know that where she films is not her house. That is the pool house on her property. So we don't know what her actual house looks like and how big it is and all of that. But even like when I was looking at the scene with the ladies coming on the ship, all of the ladies had these designer bags, and you know how the ladies were dressed. And Marisol just had this really cute, like, looked like some linen pants with a sweater and like a collar shirt. And she had this really big, like, nautical bag. It didn't look like it was, and it didn't look like it was designer or anything like that. And the reason why I say that is because it doesn't have to be. But they say usually those are the ones that don't wear it all on there. You know what I'm saying? The people that don't wear it all over the place are generally the ones that are the most comfortable in the room. And outside of Stephanie, and Lisa, I mean, I could see Marisol. Well, let me say this. Outside of Stephanie and her husband, Lisa and Lenny's money, now that Alexia doesn't have Todd's, money, I mean, I could see Marisol being comfortable. I mean, we know she did have a very successful company. You know what I mean? But anyway, I just was asking just to see what you guys thought. The thing is, Marisol probably hangs around old money, and that crowd isn't loud. And that's what I was saying, V. Spencer, ostentatious with it. That's what I was actually saying. Like, I feel like as far as having her own money, Marisol is probably pretty comfortable in her own money. Again, I'm not saying she's a billionaire, but I think she's probably very comfortable, because I don't know enough about Adriana to know how she got her money. I don't know anything about Adriana and her past. We know Larsa is living off her OnlyFans money and her divorce settlement. Lisa probably walked away with a pretty decent divorce settlement and child support, right? Gertie, we know Gertie's comfortable. She has her event planning business, so she's comfortable, and that's her own money, her business. I don't know. I just never really sat down to break down all of the ladies before, and I was just curious what you guys thought. But anyway, The ladies get on the ship. They're on the Virgin cruise. It's the maiden voyage for this particular ship. Marisol has the Rockstar suite, which let me tell you something. There are tiers to the Rockstar suite. And here's, I know because I've looked at Virgin Cruises in the past. I'm actually going on one in May. So I know that there are tiers to it. There's like the Rockstar suite, and then there's like the suite. There's like 2 tiers over top of the Rockstar suite. Marisol has like, I can't remember if she has the Rockstar suite or the one on top of that. But she does not have the top suite on the Virgin Cruises. I'm just telling you what I know. But it's still a nice suite. Don't get me wrong. Nothing to sneeze at. I would stay at. And they're not that expensive. I mean, when I say expensive, relatively expensive. They're not, no children on Virgin Cruises. When I say not that expensive, I mean affordable, not that expensive. Like I've looked at the prices for the Rockstar. I'm not saying I would spend that kind of money to be by myself, but it's reasonable. It's not outside of the realm of what I could afford. I mean, does that make sense? Okay. So anyway, if you're thinking about it, I'm just saying, But moving right along. But the Rockstar suite is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is nothing to sneeze at. So Marisol said, listen, what y'all not going to do is embarrass me on this good ship. You are not going to get me thrown off the ship, and you are not going to get me thrown out of my social circle with Richard Branson. So what we're going to do the first night is we're going to separate. And the first night, we're going to put the people who we know getting along, we're going to put them on the left, and the people who, the people that we know getting along in group 1 and group 2, we're going to split them up. We are not putting anybody that right now is not getting along. We are not putting them together, okay? That is what we're not going to do. Okay, that's what we are not gonna do. Okay, right, accessible for the gainfully employed. Right. And I'm not saying I would do it. Trust me, y'all know I do like nice things, but that's just a bit like I don't need all of that. But now, if I was going on like a honeymoon or something, I could see me splurging for something like that with with my man. But me by myself, child, I'll be all right. I don't need all that. Again, it's nice, but I don't need all that. So half of the group went to the dining room to have dinner, and the other half of the group went to the chef's kitchen to sit down and do, like a chef plated meal or what have you. So group 1 was Lisa, Marisol, Alexia, and Julia, I believe. And then the other group was Adriana, Gertie, Kiki, and Larsa, and Stephanie. Lisa, what you can't do is ever talk to anybody on this show about punctuality. Like Marisol said, baby, I have banked enough tardy points over the years that if I want to be a few minutes late for dinner, I'm going to be a few minutes late for dinner. Lisa really was like, but when I'm late, everybody has something to say. They were like, girl, we just started saying something to you this year. Like, we've been just letting you be late and just get away with being late. We just started talking to you about being late. Go sit down somewhere. And honestly, they still wasn't going to say nothing to you. That was Stephanie saying something. Okay. Now, Adriana is in a mood. She funky because it's her birthday. And she's talking about something. She don't really talk about her birthday because ageism is a thing. Let me tell you why I'm not entertaining that with you, Adriana. Right. It was funny. I didn't even think it was funny, but it wasn't, it could be laughed off at first. And then she kept going. Adriana, let me tell you something. Had you not gotten drunk and used Marisol's age as your only dig at her for probably 8 hours, because y'all know they edited that down to 10 minutes. And I'm sure that Adriana went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Baby, you talked about that woman's knees being wrinkled. You talked about everything about how old that woman was. Now, all of a sudden, ageism is a thing. And that's why you don't like to celebrate your birthday, because once people find out how old you are, then they treat you different, and you've lost. She said basically it sounds like she's lost two men to a younger woman. then why would you use it as a dig at Marisol? I can't have no sympathy for you. You love Virgin Cruises. You're going on your 5th one next week. Oh, wow. I'm going on my first one. I've been wanting to go on one for a couple of years, but I'm actually going on one in May. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Yeah, I'm just like, girl, you are funny. Like, you really, girl. Anyway, so the ladies are all, no, it's okay, Adriana. Oh, no, it's okay. Oh, okay. It's okay, Adriana. Oh, it's okay. Girl, go sit down somewhere. I just can't. Adriana is such a, for me, it's like Larsa. They're unsympathetic when they're actually going through something because of how hard they go at other people. So when they are actually dealing with something, they're just unsympathetic for me. Like, it is really hard for me to feel sorry for Larsa. It just is, because you are so unsympathetic to everybody else when they're going through something or when they have real shit happening. How you just like act like it's not a big deal or act like it's not an issue because it doesn't affect you. So when you are really going through something, I just don't have it in me. And that's how I feel about Adriana. Adriana, you be coming for people and you manipulate stuff, and you, girl, I don't have it in me to have a lot of, woe is me that you getting older. And like Gertie said, Gertie was like, girl, some people don't make it to their next birthday. You better enjoy it. You better live your life. You better seize that. And I understand that birthdays can be depressing for people. Don't get me wrong. I get it that birthdays can be depressing for people. But I'm just unsympathetic. Sorry, not sorry. Lisa was trying to joke, but again, she landed flat and had the capacity of a slide. Wait a minute. It has the capacity of not a slotted spoon, not even in the teeth. Child, let me tell you something. If I felt like Lisa was really playing, I might, but I don't think Lisa was really playing. I think she tried to play it off, but I think Lisa meant that. I think Lisa was like, oh, so now y'all can be late? Because again, I don't think Lisa has the, like you just said, the capacity to understand that you're late every time, hours at a time. They were late by 10, 15, 20 minutes. Adriana might have been a little bit later because they had already started eating by the time Adriana got there. But even then, Adriana had a legitimate reason. She said, listen, I wasn't feeling well and I fell asleep. That's legit. Lisa, you just be late because your ass is trying on outfits. Not the same. So then the ladies basically at their dinner are talking about the problems they had with the other ladies and how they're going to resolve it. Honestly, I feel like we've talked about all of this. What happened with the plane, with, you know, the private jet? What happened with Lisa and Larsa? And Larsa saying how Lisa owes her an apology and how Lisa's apology needs to be up here because, again, Larsa acts like she didn't do anything wrong and everything is on Lisa to fix. And so the next day, I guess they're going to mix and mingle it up so they can try to get to the bottom of some things. So the next morning, we see Stephanie meeting with Marisol to discuss the issue. Now, Marisol, here's where I have an issue with you. Girl, why you just wasn't honest with that lady? I didn't like I really like you, Stephanie. I really like you, Stephanie. I'm not mad at all. I'm not upset at all. I mean, I really like you, Stephanie. I really like you. Just tell that woman, listen, we were all upset when we left dinner, but at a certain point, we felt like you was taking that shit too far. At a certain point, we felt like you was taking it too far and we didn't like the way it made us feel. We did feel like you were hoarding that plane over our heads. We did feel like you were acting like, you know, that like you was running something and that if we didn't get on your jet, then, you know, our day was going to be ruined or something. And so I just didn't feel like dealing with you. Like, just be honest. That's the part because Marisol, I need you. Usually I feel like you normally are a little more forthcoming and just would have been like to Stephanie, look, girl, I didn't really appreciate it. Right. Like, I feel like you could have just said to Stephanie, girl, you were doing a lot. And even if you had said, listen, now that I done got back home, you know, that was a couple of weeks ago, I'm kind of over it now. But in the moment, yeah, I was feeling some kind of way. I would have even accepted that. But you made it seem like you weren't mad at all. It didn't bother you at all. Girl, they said that y'all summoned everybody to y'all room and tried to get everybody to not get on that jet. Like, it wasn't just happenstance. Like, even the way Marisol said it is not the way that Gertie said it went down, right? They were like, no, they legitimately called us, all of us, to Marisol's room and tried to convince all of us to not get on that damn jet. That's how Julia knew Alexia and Marisol weren't going before Stephanie knew, because they had a whole fucking meeting about it. And I wish you had just said that. I wish you had just said, girl, you was doing a lot. And I didn't feel comfortable. At that point, I didn't want to get on your ship, on your jet. See, that's how I would have carried it. But anyway, yeah, Marisol loses her bite when Alexia isn't around. I have friends like that in my college friend group. Love them, but they only argue with me when they had backup. Ooh. Well, you know, they said that. Remember, they said that, actually, they've said that a few times. They've said that a few, because I think didn't Dr. Nicole say that about Marisol as well? When Alexia, I think she was talking to Alexia. She was saying, when Marisol's not around, Alexia, you're really nice. And then Stephanie said the same thing to Marisol when they were in a Sevilla, that you know, when you're not around Alexia, you're actually pretty cool. So that's an interesting, yeah. But yeah, and maybe that's, and again, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, y'all, and there aren't times that I fumble. I mean, we all do, I think. But I just feel like you could have just said, listen, in the moment, it really pissed me. Like, I'm over it now. Like, I've had time to process it, and, you know, I've moved past it. But yeah, in the moment, yeah, I was pissed. Like, I feel like it's okay to say that. Anyway, Marisol acts like Alexia wears Stephanie down, when in fact, had Stephanie to herself, she would have ate Alexia. Stephanie's trigger is gang ups. Stephanie's trigger need to be to go sit down somewhere. That's what her trigger need to be, is go sit down somewhere. But, and then it looks like in next week's episode, when Stephanie talks to Alexia, which is part of the reason why Stephanie wanted to talk to them separate in the first place, because she wanted them to get their story straight. Okay. I mean, she didn't want them to be able to get their story straight, but it looks like once she talks to Alexia, she gets a totally different perspective on what happened. And now it looks like she's going to be mad at Marisol all over again. So we'll see what happens next week. But that was pretty much the episode. No, you're right, Really B. It's come up way too many times to not have been just straight up by now. Yeah. I just feel like, and Stephanie, let me pop Stephanie's hand too. Girl, it wasn't about you. And when I say it wasn't about you, them deciding not to go should not have hurt your feelings as much as it did. The only person, in my opinion, whose feelings should have been hurt by Alexia and Marisol deciding not to go should have been Julia. Nobody else, in my opinion, really had any reason to feel some kind of way. Stephanie, what you mad about? So what? They didn't want to get on your plane? Like, maybe it's just me, y'all. So what? Because now it does seem like it was about you flaunting the plane. It does seem like now you just wanted to be able to say, this is my plane. Look at what I have. Look at mine. Because, girl, why do you care? Like, baby, I have been on group trips before where it's like, you know, 8 people, 9 people. The reality of the situation is people are going to make decisions based on how they feel. Maybe they spend too much time in the sun. Maybe y'all getting on their nerves and they don't really want to go on a particular excursion. Like, I have been in those, hell, I've made that decision. Like, y'all, I'll meet y'all at dinner. I ain't going. Because I just feel like being by myself for a couple of hours, or maybe there's something else I want to do that I didn't know I wanted to do before we got here, but now I want to do it. Like, there are reasons why people make these decisions. It really should not bother you unless it is something you have personally invited the people to, or it's like your event and you put money out. But Stephanie, just be clear, you wouldn't have spent any more, any less money flying that jet just because two people didn't get on that jet. And then Marisol was like, yeah, because I mean, we had to hear about how much the jet cost and this, and this. Stephanie gonna say, well, I don't think that was me. I think that was Larsa that said that. Girl, how did Larsa know? See, again, stop playing games with us. How did Larsa know how much it cost if you didn't tell her? Larsa didn't pull that number out her ass. So at some point, you still had the conversation. Stephanie came in with a weird attitude off rip, but I like that she's willing to use her mouthpiece. Listen, for as much as Stephanie irritates me, I do like the fact that Stephanie, because again, the only reason why Lisa being late is an issue is because Stephanie has made it an issue. The rest of them women ain't saying shit. They just sat there and let Lisa ass inconvenience them for the last how many years? Yeah, when I'm on a trip, I like to go at my own speed. It frustrates me when people try to control everyone's vacation with their own ideas and plans. Right. And that's why I'm gonna tell you, that's why I love cruises. Because baby, it's so much stuff to do on that ship. Everybody can have a good time. We can see each other when we see each other. I know when I did my birthday trip last summer, there was really only one thing that I was like, okay, I really want everybody to do this. And that was my birthday dinner, because that's why we were there, for my birthday. But even then, I had a chef come into the house and cook for us at the house. So we didn't have to go anywhere. We didn't have to do anything. I just needed everybody to be at dinner be at the table when dinner was ready. Like, that was it. That was all. I did book a day out on the boat. But even then, I was like, if you want to go, this is how much it's going to cost per person. If you don't want to go, don't worry about it. We only need XYZ amount of people to book it. That was it. But I still didn't make it mandatory for anybody to go. It was if you wanted to go kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right. Katie, unless it's a safety thing, let them fly on their own dime. And let's be clear, Stephanie, I feel like production probably gave you something. I ain't gonna say they gave you all of it, but production probably gave you something towards that trip. Not 100%, but they probably gave you a piece of something towards it. I mean, because you did save them having to book a sprinter and all that stuff. So they probably gave you a few dollars, But anyway, that was pretty much the episode, y'all. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we're going to be doing Ready to Love with Shade in the City. I'm going to try to get up at 10 o'clock. I'm going to try to get up early. Well, I guess it would have to be like 9 o'clock, 9:30, so that I can do Love and Marriage Huntsville and then do Ready to Love, because y'all know it's football tomorrow, and that's what I'm going to be doing the rest of the day. So tomorrow night, if I don't get up early enough to do Love and Marriage Huntsville before Ready to Love, then I'll probably do Ready to Love around 6 o'clock tomorrow, 6 or 7 o'clock, if I don't go out, because I might be going out. So it's going to depend. So that's why I'm going to try to get it done early so I can get that done. But anyway, so that's what it is. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.